To tell about Sandeep, he has years of IT experience and he has worked in sales, negotiation, pricing, and contracts closures worth millions of pounds at corporate level. What he says is the fundamentals of pricing and sales skills remains the same, and he has offered an article on the subject to in the UK Small Businesses magazine. And today he's joining to guide us with 5 top tips on pricing. Sandeep, over to you.
Thank you, Logi. This is an amazing opportunity. In all my years of IT and professional experience, I don't think I've had such an opportunity to present in front of, small businesses, and that too run by women. And I think the work that you're actually doing, Logi, is amazing because I have seen it firsthand through the eyes of Parnita. So happy to share my experience. And please feel free to stop me to ask questions as we go ahead. And yes, the time is pretty short, so I will try and make the best use of whatever time we have. Yeah, let me just share my screen. Can everyone see my screen clearly?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so let's start. So this is the first thing that comes into our mind, right? The difference between value and price. Value is something intangible sometimes, but the price is very, very tangible because it's stacked up based on many factors, and we'll come to that. I'll give you a great example of value, right? Everyone know Uber. Amazing value proposition. Tap the app and get a ride. Very simple, straightforward. It gets into people's minds very easily. Uber is the smartest way to get around. One tap and the car comes directly to you. The driver knows exactly where you want to go, and the payment is completely cashless. Now, there is a competing business to Uber, which is Lyft. Look at their value proposition. They talk about request, ride, and pay. But when you read through the first line itself, you really don't know what Lyft is, what Lyft line means, and what Lyft Plus means. So here they have actually mixed the value and the price together at the first instant itself. And that's the reason why Uber is actually doing much better than Lyft. So this is a very good example of how your value proposition needs to be very, very clear, because then the price really doesn't matter. And that's the main thing that we have got to come up with. But at the end of the day, you can't forget the basics because they are going to be there and you have to pay attention to that. There are many elements of those basics, right? And all of them are listed out here. I'll give you a very good example of viability. So a leading airline in India thought of creating a value proposition for their customers. And the idea was that I will be giving a bottle of water free for every passenger who steps into my airline. Great idea, right? India is a very hot country and people are always running here and there. You need water. And once you get onto the flight, yes, that chilled water will really make a big difference. Great value proposition. What they did not realize is it was difficult to get one bottle of water to every passenger on every flight across India because they had not understood the cost behind the logistics. Great ideation. This happened. They took a long time to actually get it right. The first thing that they had to get right was get that bottle across to every passenger. The second thing they had to get right was the cost of logistics. But that simple idea, even though the value proposition was great, was not cost effective at all, and it was always a loss-making initiative. At the end of the day, that actual business shut down for many different reasons, but I'm sure this contributed to one of them, because they couldn't just get that water bottle out of the equation through their journey. So that's very important. So now you have your basics in place. You have your variable costs, you have your fixed costs, you understand your demographics, you understand your competition. You have to peg your product across this metric, right? Across this 4 quadrants. Are you looking at profit from your business, or you're looking at revenues? And there are different ways and means that your pricing strategy is going to define. At the end of the day, everyone wants to move into the quadrant D, because that's where you get the best profit and the best revenue. Now, on an airline, you know that the business class and the first class are highly priced. The reason is, one business class ticket can actually cover the cost of probably 10 normal tickets. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you have to think of how you want to really move from point A to point E across your quadrants. A simple example, right? If I have a business of baking a cookie. Now I want to actually increase the number of cookies that I sell, but at the same time, I want to give a value proposition. Sorry, can I just pause for a minute, please?
Yeah, we can see the slides now, Sandeep. Initially, we couldn't, the slides.
Oh, you couldn't see the slides at all?
Oh, we can see the slides. It didn't change. Now it changes. Yeah.
That's strange, because it's changing for me.
Yeah. But now I think if you click on the slide, it's showing. Yeah.
So, okay, hold on. Where did you not see the slides?
I think we were on the first slide, but we were following the lecture continuously. So not to worry. If you could share from what is the slide due now, Sandeep. Yeah.
So can you see this slide?
Yeah, we can.
All right. So at the end of the day, you have to actually move from A to E, or from A to B. A simple example would be, if I'm selling cookies, right, to families, I can actually increase my sale of cookies for that same family for the entire year. Because what if I tell them that I can supply you cookies for every occasion in your family, and for every occasion I can make theme-based cookies. Now you not only have a fixed customer for the rest of the year, but you have the option of actually working with your variable costs as well to increase your profit, and without, of course, without compromising on cost, quality, and customer service. So there are many different ways that you can do. You need to have that ability to change your pricing based on how you want to see the value coming out of it. Now, we always think of the customer first, naturally. We know and we think that the customer knows exactly what they want. But you know what? Not always. Because they may read things, they may not understand things. It's a great opportunity for you as a business, or for us as a business, to guide them in the way that you want them to be led, right? The second thing is, they have done their research. Today, there's a lot of information available on the net, and they do their research, they do their homework. Yes, absolutely. Very true. We face that in the IT industry as well. But it's actually good for you, because now you have an opportunity to differentiate, because you have done your research too. So you focus on the differentiator rather than on the basics. The customer is always looking for value for money. And that's an absolute truth. Always. No matter how rich the customer is, they will always look for value for money. So you can never discount that. But I think all of us definitely know that buying decisions are made from the heart, and then you use data to actually back it up. And that's the truth. In almost all our engagements, wherever it has been really good, this is exactly what happens, because you are dealing with people at the end of the day. You are touching that heart in some shape or form. And what touches the heart? The price? No, it's the value. So, in summary, really, the first thing is you must understand your costs thoroughly. Every small expense towards building your product and service definitely counts. No doubt about it, because that's going to eat up in your margins always. The value articulation is important if you want to drive premium pricing. Even though you are bundling your products, it still needs a strong value articulation, because that's the only way that you're going to get premium pricing. Have a product mix, and it can be a mix of service, it can be a mix of products, or it can be a mix of services itself, because then you can actually have the quadrant that I showed you. You can actually say that, okay, this product I'm going to only focus on growing numbers. A plus B will probably move me into a different bucket, and that will help your overall pricing strategy, and it will also help you in your revenues in the long run, and that's absolutely important. Lastly, you must respect the customer's purse, because they are also struggling. You need to understand demographics, and at the end of the day, their purse matters. A very simple example: a small sachet of, say, shaving cream, right, is far more expensive than a big bottle when you compare is price per milliliters. But at the end of the day, it's easy for us, even a low person, to actually buy that. So that's the most important bit, and that's what I had in mind. And I'm surprised that the slides are not being seen.
Thank you, Sandeep. I think it's an amazing talk. Let's give a big applause to Sandeep.